It recently occurred to me that over the past 10 years or so, I have either talked about or consumed information directly related to the topic of finance almost every single day. And when I had this realization, I decided it was time to get a holistic view of where I'm getting this information to get a better understanding of if it's diverse enough. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Reece, and in today's video, I really wanted to dive into a discussion about how I source my financial information, how credible those sources are, and what processes I've implemented in my information hunting skills over the years to filter out the crap. Literally every single person on the planet has access to information, whether it be in the format of books, articles, the newspaper, television, the radio, social media, blogs, podcasts, YouTube channels, you name it. And all of these sources have people presenting this information in the format of opinions, experiences, facts, ideas, and so on, myself included. Now, over time, I've noticed that I really hone in on specific locations to gather information and find answers to my financial questions. And the concern that I had, and technically still have, is that there is plenty of misinformation being thrown out into the big bad world. Generally, it is accompanied by content creators who have an agenda to push, ultimately because they themselves have something to gain by doing this. I personally try to be as diverse as possible when gathering information before making up my mind on any given topic. What I've noticed, however, is that people such as my father, for example, do not. He is a good example of someone who is under the impression that the mass media within Australia, such as our local TV news stations, our radio stations, and our newspapers, are all different sources or count as different sources of information. The truth, however, is that most of Australia's mass media is almost entirely owned by two entities, the Murdoch Empire, which is known as News Corp, and Nine Entertainment. I personally do not like mainstream media within Australia because they absolutely have an agenda to push, and they frame news and information in a way that supports their agenda. To contextualize this so I can move on, there is a video which does a fantastic job at summarizing the absolute monopoly that mainstream media companies hold within countries like the US and Australia, which surfaces every now and then. I highly recommend you watch it. It only goes for about 1 minute. I've linked it down in the description below because it paints a really good picture about how much propaganda these companies can push out to their audience without them even knowing it's happening to them. In summary, the video is a compilation of dozens of American news channels reading the exact same script, claiming that other sources of information are unreliable, when in fact, they themselves are tools of propaganda for a major media empire trying to push their own agenda. And while you're down in the description hunting for that link, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. It really does help the channel grow. So with this in mind, like I said, I try to gather information from lots of different sources. Examples including things like different subreddits and forums where in-depth discussions can take place, various websites, blogs, podcasts, books, and from people who are quite knowledgeable on topics. I love to have discussions with people who actually understand what they're talking about because it's either their passion or they do a lot of research into topics and are able to explain it in a way that makes sense and keep it simple. And my favorite source of information, YouTube channels. Although these are different sources of information, it doesn't necessarily mean that what you are being told is always truthful and accurate. The second component to taking this information in is to form opinions around what all of these sources are telling you. It can sometimes be quite difficult to make a decision or even disagree with what these sources of information are telling you, especially when you might be in an echo chamber and not actually know it. For those of you who don't know what an echo chamber is, it basically is where a person only engages with sources of information who reinforce and agree with their opinion. A very easy example for this would be people who have a vested interest in a specific cryptocurrency who only engage in content from creators who promote the product instead of looking for information and sources from an unbiased location. In these circumstances, they only ever see information that reinforces their beliefs and basically stops them from gaining a comprehensive understanding on the topic, resulting in the potential to make poor decisions with their investments that aren't taking into consideration all of the facts, leaving them exposed to risks that they may not have been aware of. So the two best ways to make sure that the information you are consuming are both as diverse and most likely to be as accurate as possible are as follows. Firstly, once you have a certain opinion about a specific topic, make sure to go out into the big bad world and search for information sources and content which directly disagrees with your belief to see if this additional information changes your opinion. Doing this gives a holistic view on any specific topic, which drives discussion and makes sure that your opinion is grounded in all of the available knowledge. More importantly, make sure you understand the biases or agendas of specific sources of information. As a very specific example, if you were to go on, let's say, the PETA website looking for information about how to have a healthy and balanced diet, you would most likely be met with information which is pushing you in the direction to be a vegan. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean that the information is wrong. That's not what I'm claiming here. It's just that the information provided is in the best interest of PETA's mission. So in addition to using the PETA website to source this information, go out and find other sources of information which discuss this topic in depth. Once you have made up your mind or you have a solid opinion on it, repeat step 1 and go out and find specific pieces of content which directly disagree with your opinion. This is a really effective way to develop an unbiased opinion on a specific topic that you might be interested in learning about. And when specifically talking about finance and gathering information and potentially advice on specific topics, depending on how much wealth you have, it might be worth going and seeing an actual financial advisor. However, personally, I believe that you need to have a significant amount of wealth before going down that path. But to caveat that, I do know people who weren't really financially literate who have gone and seen them in the past and actually gained value out of it. It's just a suggestion. It's not financial advice. I am not a financial advisor, but you already knew that. To wrap this video up, I recommend consuming a broad range of content from different platforms and creators to get a holistic view on any topic that you might be learning about. Doing this should give you confidence in your ability to filter out the effect of individual biases, keep you well informed, and help you make informed decisions. And that's pretty much it. Overall, I hope you enjoyed today's video. I hope I taught you something, and I hope I made you think about a very important topic, especially when consuming information. If you did enjoy, please hit that like and subscribe button down below. I really do appreciate the support. And as always, I will see you in the next one. Bye for now.